Hey, nerdy sports fan, we're talking week 14 NFL action and the game of the week. We have the San Francisco 49ers going up against the New Orleans Saints. Now we have two 10-2 NFC juggernauts going head to head. This is going to be a playoff preview, okay? This probably will not be the last time these teams see each other. Saints are playing at home. Now, that is why they're favored here. Okay, they have a 2.5-point margin from Vegas. I don't know. I see San Francisco winning this game. So the reasoning I have is the most recent 5 games from each team. You look at the Saints, they lost to Atlanta, and all of their wins are against subpar teams. They're against the Cardinals and the teams in their division, which are all weak right now. And the 49ers, yes, they got 2 wins against the Cardinals, which were harder fought than they should have been. But the Cardinals are just built well to go up against this team. So it shouldn't be held against them too much. They have losses, sure. But those losses are to Seattle and Baltimore, arguably the 2 best teams in the league. So, chill out. You have a win against Green Bay, a better team than any team the Saints have wins against. So yeah, I see San Francisco beating the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. They're a better overall team. Drew Brees is not looking dominant right now. And the 49ers defense is special. The Saints are going to have to use Taysom Hill a lot if they want to create the kind of matchup hell that Lamar Jackson affords. And they're not going to do that. They're not. Because they have Drew Brees. And Taysom Hill doesn't warrant any real number of snaps. He can't throw the ball in the way that Lamar Jackson can. He can't run the ball in the way that Lamar Jackson can. So yeah. But they're going to use him because Lamar Jackson was able to have some sort of effect against this very good defense. Just not a lot. Okay, they only gave up 20 points to the Ravens. They're not going to give up gobs and gobs of points against the Saints. Now, mind you, the Saints have a very good defense as well. But I just think that the strength of the San Francisco running game outweighs what the Saints can do to stop the run. I get it, Breda's been hurt, but Mostert shows out every time Breda goes down. This backfield is conditioned to have an injured starting running back. So they have 2 active on the roster right now that can be the guy. So don't worry about it. Deebo Samuel's emergence has really helped the offense in Emmanuel Sanders' absence. But, I mean, they're getting healthier on receiver. They are. They're good enough on offense to score 20-plus points against the Saints. They're good enough on defense to hold the Saints under 20. That's what I expect to happen. So I bet the 49ers all day. I think it's a low-scoring affair. I think Deebo Samuel is a must-add for the fantasy football playoffs. I think he is touchdown dependent, yes, but he's going to be high volume because he's starting to catch a groove with Jimmy G. And, I mean, that's the kind of ad you need to do for the playoffs. You have 3 games. You have 3 matchups. San Francisco have a very favorable schedule for passing defense. So picking up Deebo Samuel now, bang, bang, bang. 3 very good games for him to match up against. That's what you do in the playoffs. Puncher's chance. Daily fantasy football rules. Who's got the best matchup? Who can I plug in here that maybe not a very long-term solution, but I don't need long-term. I need 3 weeks. And in some cases, 1 game. Because other players on your team are going to have great matchups for the other 2. So you're making roster moves based off of you just got to freaking go for it. Deebo Samuel is an ad this week. I'm sure there's half a dozen receivers with better names on better offenses that you can drop because Deebo Samuel's just going to be better these 3 weeks. Raheem Mostert's in the same boat. He's dependent on Breida being hurt still, but Breida has been a health concern for a few years now. He'll sit out a few games. Does it end up being just next week? Does it end up being the next 3 games where Mostert's the man? That's a risk, but it's the kind of risk you make in the playoffs. So, not a lot changing for the Saints. Latavius Murray's still a good handcuff for Kamara only. But Michael Thomas is doing great. And Cooks, when healthy, great. Good start for tight end. Drew Brees probably should be benched this week for players like Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Leave Drew Brees on the bench. This is a bad matchup for him. And they're going to use Taysom Hill a lot in order to create the matchups that they need. And I don't see it working. So, yeah. I will rarely, if ever, tell you to bench Drew Brees, but this is a week. That's what I got for this game, guys. Hit up the rest of the videos for more fantasy football advice. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content.